that's like bread and butter of this map is going to be your mid area.
Yeah, I totally agree, honestly. And it looks like we are going to be kicking it off here with the side of DC Minutemen pushing in through this church side. We're going to kick it off with Dak, who is going to be that main AR for the side of DC Minutemen. Already kills going back and forth here as Dak laying down some fire. DC Minutemen with an early couple kills here, but it's pretty back and forth as right away Merc's going to come back with a nice 2-piece of his own. Crash going to push through, get taken down by that open field. And so far this time looks like it should be in favor of Philly Fighters, but DC Minutemen definitely not far behind on trying to push this in.
Philly Fighters does have that mid control though, and if DC does want to break this, they are going to have to push through that mid area and kind of get that guy off of Zig. I believe it is Merc all the way back there. He is kind of holding it down for his team over there, but he did move up. But now they are pushing through field. Kind of and for this P2.
I mean, we're seeing like the classic basically get a lot of like P1 time here. Let's see, and we're seeing the other team basically when there's even like 20-30 seconds left starting to rotate for that P2, trying to get a setup going. And we're gonna have to see Philly Fighters try to break this in here.
Fox in an excellent spot, cutting off those players from yellow though. Wonder if he does read the push from comms.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to have a lot of gunfights going around the map right here as DC Minutemen going to end up cleaning those up. Actually, never mind. Crash, I was not paying attention. Was up top. Picks
Crash
up a nice 2-piece.
Almost a third.
Yeah, it does end up getting taken down there. But Merc in here to clean it up with the Volk, it looks like. That's, well, yeah, not too often I get to see that gun out here. But Philly Fighters does take control of this hill, and they're starting to get a couple kills here. But DC Minutemen, they've already got Socks all the way over on that rotation towards that P3, that little money hill back there. But they're going to have to deal with 2 Philly Fighter players on the rotation as well.
DC does get the scrap time. If they can win this rotation, I think that hill is going to be massive. And they do drop the players rotating over. And if they can get this control, I do believe it's going to be one hard hill to break for the side of Philly Fighters.
I mean, definitely. I mean, you're going to have to be trying to go through people like Socks and Bot and Trilogy over there, and Dax obviously holding it down in the back as well. And so far, Philly doing a good job pushing towards this roof side right now. Mott gonna have to cut off, does get taken down. There's gonna still be a couple players alive for DC Minutemen over here, but Philly Fighters doing a good job pushing in this back. Also, they've got a player pushing the front. DC Minutemen taking some down. Boozy's getting a nice kill, but Socks just pushes through. And it looks like Philly Fighters did end up getting the back push there. There's about a little bit under half the time left on this hill. There's only 20 seconds left as DC Minutemen honestly gets a lot of time on that. It's going to get themselves fairly back in this game here as they're getting ready for that P4 hill over by Church.
DC Minutemen did soak up a good amount of time, and as you see with the player 8 already set up for next, forcing Philly Fighters to kind of have to push through top yellow to kind of get control for these spawns. But Trilogy up top comms. Will we get the read on the second player? He does fall to him.
Yeah, Trilogy does do a good job, though, making sure that gets that info for the team, gets that first kill. Love to see that. But Boozy's right now on a 6 streak. I don't know how I didn't notice that. I miss it all the time. And, of course, I curse him immediately. Caster Curse in the classic. He ends up dying immediately. But these teams are just brawling it out on this hill right now. But Philly Fighter is going to be in control of it. But DC Minutemen trying to do what looks like maybe one kind of like half push to it while they're getting ready for that P5, just trying to maybe get some time on that.
Definitely, with DC also having Socks up top, he does fall as I say that, but he does get the call out that there is still someone on old, as well as with Mott on hill currently. They'll be able to kind of read that Philly Fighters has hit a rotation and they are going to have a battle over at P5.
Yeah, and that battle over at P5 is going to end up going in favor of Philly Fighters. That's going to be 4 down for DC Minutemen, actually. Merc going to be in the corner here, getting ready for these DC Minutemen players to push up. And Boozy, that man's over in the middle of the map. He's going to make everyone's life a nightmare. He's actually going to end up going down pretty much immediately as I say that. That is my bad, but Merc going to end up going down in this top corner right in front of P5. And so far, the Philly Fighters are dying just as fast as the DC Minutemen on this hill.
Yeah, I feel like P5 on Tuscan is like anybody's game. It's one of those hills that if your subs get in there and they can set up, I honestly believe it's the hardest hill to break on this map.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that we've seen time and time again where it's either one of those hills that's super crazy back and forth or a super sub-dominant team just holds it down for what feels like forever. And we are going to see... Oh, sorry.
No, you're good.
We are going to see this rotation over to P1 here by both teams, as there's a lot of fighting going on in the middle of the map here. DC Minutemen is going to end up winning that one over. But, I mean, Philly Fighters not far behind getting some kills here. Boozy's once again wreaking havoc in the middle of the map. Picks up a nice two-piece there. Gets some help from the guys spawning up. But DC Minutemen still alive on this hill, and they're spawning close by.
Absolutely. And after that first rotation of hard points with Philly Fighters up 132 to 96, it still is anybody's game. One good hold on any side would be a very deciding factor.
Yeah, and this P1 is one of those hills that I feel like we're going to see maybe go back in favor of DC Minutemen here at some point, but Philly Fighters doing a really good job controlling that church side of the map and middle of the map very well. And I'm going to have to start eating my own words here, because never mind, it looks like DC Minutemen at this point probably going to have to try to push through the middle and try to just get to the other side of the map.
Yeah, and as I believe number 1 in Boozies is already rotated for the side of Philly Fighters. Would like to see DC Minutemen rotating a little bit earlier to kind of break this next P2 before P3.
Yeah, it looks like they're opting to take it kind of slow. They've got that one player in the far back they're going to have to deal with. That's going to be Crash. Never mind, as two players spawn up very close right there, but Sock's going to pick the first one up on the cut. On a 4-streak right now, pushes into the hill, takes down Boosies as well. Has one more player to deal with over here. That's going to be top plat, and that was going to be Merc, who is going to end up getting the kill there. But DC Minutemen doing a good job making sure they just keep this nice and contested. And honestly, it looks like they're going to take full total control of this hill as well. But Philly Fighters, we've got a couple players pushing in there. They're going to end up picking up the kills. We've got one player in the hill and one above. Trilogy going to push in, pick up one. One more player here to deal with. That's going to be Boozies. Ends up getting the kill. There is only 20 seconds left on this P3 hill, as we're going to, sorry, P2 hill, as we're going to have to get ready for P3, which once again, DC Minutemen on the early rotation.
And 6 in Mott are going to collide, and they are going to have the full hold on this P3 area, with Mercury trying to hit the zig point, trying to see if he can get the person out of the back spawn to kind of help his team spawn up on this tiles area. Boozies with the big win though. Eve, that should make his team spawn up on top of the DC Minutemen, so it's going to be kind of a bloodbath on this P3.
Yeah, they do get those back spawns, but Dak over here with that 5-kill streak ends up going down. He was fighting for his life back there, but Boozies got him nice and slowly pushed in. But DC Minutemen once again pushing down these fire stairs. That's going to be Mott getting taken down. Crash looking towards the back, gets a nice kill there, but gets taken down by a teammate there. That's going to be Merc, who ends up getting a double kill. His teammate included in that, though.
Seeing yellow on the kill feed. As I say that, though, Dak with the kill onto Gother. If DC Minutemen are already starting this rotation over to the church, with Dak holding kind of that yellow area to see if he can get the cutoff. But I don't think he realized that Philly was already over there in him.
Yeah, DC does get a couple initial kills in this hard point here, but Philly doing a really good job making sure they maintain those spawns. They spawn up real close, get a little bit of help on each other. Now they're trying to hold down that field side, but they've got a player pushing in from that side. They're going to end up getting that kill in favor of DC Minutemen. One more player in the hill for Philly Fighters ends up going down. Now Mott up top church, watching over his boys down in the bottom of the hill there. And right now the kill feed is all in favor of DC Minutemen, as they're just wiping Philly Fighters off the map.
Absolutely. And Moat with this massive hold into top comms. Able to kind of hold up that top church area for his team.
Yeah, it does a phenomenal job doing it. This is going to be one of those hills that's a complete difference maker in this map. I mean, it was a map that looked like Philly Fighters was going to end up winning it by almost 100 points. But now, I mean, DC Minutemen is going to get it fairly close here, within 20, 30 points here. And they're going to have an opportunity to actually bring this game back and win it.
Absolutely. This is going to be the money hill for either team, if I'm being quite honest.
Yeah, we're going to see Philly Fighters having that early control of this P5 hill. Trilogy going to be trying to push in from the top. Is a couple other players from DC Minutemen, very a little bit spread out around the map. But so far, Philly Fighters, their hold on this hill is holding up very, very well. They do have a little bit of plat control here in favor of DC Minutemen. They're going to push in. Sock's going to pick up 2 nice kills. Almost gets the third. Does end up going down. But Crash going to get a nice double kill on the hill. Going for the third here on top plat. That's going to be Dak. That's, yeah, and on a 5-streak right now in this hill. They only need 10 more seconds to win this map. Crash doing everything he can to make sure that happens. Gother now in this hill, holding it down for the boys here. One more pushing through that door is going to end up getting that one as well. There's only 2 seconds left. And Philly Fighters are going to end up winning that one 250 to 178. 177. I almost said 178. I almost got there.
I think they did an excellent job of holding both times that P5 area. I think they held it down amazingly and didn't really allow DC Minutemen to get into that hill. I think they held them off perfectly and kept them at a distance the
Yeah, it looks
entire
like we
time.
will be kicking it off with them here a little bit here. It looks like we're on board with Dak once again. One of those CRL moderators. This guy's a legend on the sticks as well, though, so give him a little bit of credit where it's due, that's for sure. But he's going to go up towards topside, but Sox immediately with a pick towards that outer field. Dak with a nice mid pick as well. That bomb's going to go down for the side of DC Minutemen as Philly Fighters. They got to figure something out quick.
I'll be quite honest, I didn't know you could jump up that well.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Gother just jumped right up there.
Yeah, that's a nice little spot we get to see from these diamond players every once in a while. Boozy's all by himself in a 1v4 right now. Going to get one player on that outer side damage. That's going to be Mott, who's going to immediately get some help. And that player is going to end up taking Boozy's down. That's 4 dead for the side of Philly Fighters, and DC Minutemen, they get the bomb planted and they don't lose a single person on the map.
Absolutely. That was an excellent round out of DC Minutemen.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, what do you think is the biggest thing? I think one of the biggest things goes back to exactly what you said before, that mid-fight battle. I mean, Minutemen, they won it within the first, 10 seconds, and that was pretty much the map at that point.
Yeah, and then the excellent play out of Mott, watching that flank. Like I said, that flank is going to be one of those things on this map that everyone's going to try to do.
Yeah, we're going to see Boozies with the submachine gun pushed all the way up in middle here. They're going to have one player to deal with kind of in the bottom church area. He thinks he might have a chance to push through. He actually pushes back towards that P1 area where the A-bomb is. That bomb does end up going down. Crash gets a nice nade kill on Sox. Merc is going to be watching from this mid-L area. Someone peeks bottom church, but Dak with a nice cover fire there from top church gets a nice kill on Merc there. So it is going to be a 3v3.
I don't think Philly knows Mott's on the flank. And he's joined with his entire team. I wonder if they know.
They do have one player behind them right here, and that's going to be that number 7 player, Gother, who's going to end up picking up one kill. Crash is going to get one as well, but Mott still on this backside here. All by himself right on 1v2. He's got one player pushing him. Does end up going down as Philly Fighters are going to tie this up 1-1.
Actually, Philly Fighters played that excellently. They had extremely good mid control, and then they got that bomb down so quickly that it forced DC Minutemen to kind of have to make a move.
Hey, once that time starts ticking off, it gets sketchy. I mean, you don't want to give up too much time, and you win like the last final 1v1 or something like that, and there's no time to defuse. So it kind of gets teams moving a little bit quicker, that's for sure.
You don't realize how quick 30 seconds goes by till you're trying to play a defuse.
Yeah, it looks like right away here we're going to see DC Minutemen once again with that fast mid push. They've already got a player on the bomb, getting the bomb down right now. Philly isn't going to be able to do anything about that as Dak actually gets a very nice kill against Merc, but Gother counter that immediately. Gother does end up getting pushed by Mott, who once again watching that flank. That's a big kill out of him right there. If he can stay alive here, this is going to be big for the side of DC Minutemen.
Absolutely. Philly left in a 3v2. As I say that, though, Crash left in a 1v2. He does have to defuse this bomb. He does have 22 seconds, but he does fall.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was gonna win that gunfight.
I did too.
I thought he had that. I was like, woo, maybe getting it close here. But yeah, it would immediately probably been chowed by Sox from that mid U cut area right there. But I mean, so far it's great offensive rounds out of both teams here, back to back to back. As we are going to see the side of Philly Fighters being on that offensive side again. And I mean, DC Minutemen, you got a guy like Mott who's 4-1 on the map right now with on a 3 streak. I mean, I want to see what this guy does.
Absolutely. Getting those streaks in SND is so important too, especially now, like with glides and everything like that. Really not so much protection with perks.
Yeah, right away we are going to see in a first blood in favor of Philly Fighters, and that's going to be Merc getting that kill. Crash also picking up a kill here, so that's going to be 2 down for DC Minutemen. We are going to see Trilogy with this sniper right now. He's going to push out of top church there, get taken down, and there's only going to be one player left. That's going to be Mott on this 3 streak. I don't know if we're really going to see him try to protect the stall. There's going to be one fire, one front church. He's going to take down the player front church. He's going to have one player all the way in back church to deal with as well. He definitely doesn't know they're there. But he might be in for quite the surprise if he tries to push this open field side.
Left in a 1v3 situation. His best bet is honestly playing his life and playing for those streaks, but Gother, he might have something to say about that.
Yeah, Mott is on the run right now. This man is gonna he's like Forrest Gump running halfway across the country right now. It's actually very intense as he gets away. He is gonna save that 4 streak for another day.
Playing those streaks is super important. Like I said, getting that glide bomb, whether it be on offense or defense, is going to be one of those things that if they can do it on offense and get that bomb planted, I think it's going to be a really hard retake for the side of Philly Fighters if he can get that streak.
Yeah, I also think like with how DC Minutemen has been playing so far, they're probably going to get this bomb down very, very quickly, as we are going to see that number 2 player that's going to be Trilogy getting that bomb down right away. We're going to see kills going back and forth right now as Philly Fighters only has 2 players left on the map. Is DC Minutemen going to have that player advantage, rotating all the way towards back B side?
Mott does fall though and does lose that streak.
Yeah, that is definitely highly unfortunate, but I mean, right now they've got an opportunity to get this bomb planted, and Philly Fighters, I don't know if they necessarily know what they want to do right now.
Yeah, with DC planting B, which I don't see a lot of teams doing sometimes, and I honestly think that's one of the harder bombs to retake, even harder than A at times. They're really going to have to work this bomb site and see if they can try to get a pick or two. But Merc does fall, leaving Boozers in a 1v3.
Not a guy you want to get in a gunfight with up top there. That was Sox, but Uzi's up on this top platform on that B side. He's going to have to try to find Sox here. Does end up spotting him, but gets the kill, actually. Going to end up being in a 1v1 here. So he did pick up those 2 kills around, but Dak in a really good spot here with that AR. Almost gets taken down by Boozies, though. Oh my gosh, wow. But Dak gets a nice clutch kill there as he ends the round for his team.
Absolutely, and with DC up 3-2 right now, kill on Boozies was super important. Because I believe he is on a 3 streak, or was at least at one point. Either a 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think he just picked up 2 people in that round, so he should have been on a 2, I believe, because he did die at the end of the round before that, I think.
I believe so. I believe you are correct there.
Yeah, but they are, the side of Philly is going to be pushing towards this A-bomb. Looks like they're going to try to get it down as fast as possible. DC Minutemen played a lot more passive this round, it feels like, and they didn't really push up at all. They're playing for this retake. I'm definitely curious to see what they do, as they've got 1 player in that bottom well right now, pushing up the middle of the map. Boozies pushes through bottom church, picks up a nice kill. Mott gonna cancel that out, basically, though. But Mott also going to go down to Merc from top fire, and Gother now playing this front, like, church area, waiting for anyone from DC Minutemen to push out.
Absolutely. I don't think Philly knows that Trilogy, though, is hitting a very wide... Oh, as I say that, never mind. Someone in the back of the spawn must have caught him.
Yeah, and Philly Fighters is going to end up tying that up 3-3. I mean, they want to bring it to around 11 as soon as possible, that's for sure. That'd be awesome if the very first diamond match we have on screen ended up going to like round 11 S&D on Tuscan. I would love that. That would be awesome. But we are going to see both these teams off the break here. Looks like the side of Philly Fighters is going to be on this defensive side. We do have this top-down view. Love to see that. Thank you, Emma Bear, for that. And we're going to see the side of Minutemen going to get caught off guard here a little bit in middle of the map. They do usually have that free reign of pushing through on offense. But that's going to be 1 down for the side of DC Minutemen. Murph trying to make it a second. Make that 3 down as Gother ends up picking 2 up in the round so far. And there's going to be 1 player left. That's going to be Mott. And he's on this top church area. He does end up getting taken down. And Philly Fighters, I mean, absolute flawless round out of them as they clutch up and they win on a defense.
Definitely. That round was played, as some would say, perfect COD. They held everything perfectly. They didn't overextend. And they kind of let DC come to them.
Yeah, I mean, I love to see that. Like, Philly Fighters definitely adapting in the middle of the game towards this DC Minutemen strategy. And I mean, that's what you expect to see out of these top tier teams. You expect them to change mid game when necessary. But you are going to see 2 players on the side of Philly with a 3 streak, and that's going to be Gother and Merc, both on 3 streaks over those last 2 rounds there. But Gother, getting this bomb down right now, he did end up getting stunned, so DC Minutemen has a lot of info there. But Merc did end up taking Sox down. And so now it's going to be a 3v4 in favor of Philly Fighters as they're set up and waiting for DC to push them in.
If they're getting that bomb planted, like I said, it's going to have to make DC kind of move around and kind of not move too quickly, but they are going to have to play a little bit more rapidly to kind of get this diffused to kind of avoid going to match point.
Yeah, and
but as I say that, Mott with the big 2.
Yeah, this guy's something else. He's definitely showing himself off a little bit in this S&D here. He is in this 1v2 right now. He's completely surrounded, is going to end up going down. And whoever got that kill there did end up actually going on a 5 streak. I did see that pop up right before that round ended. But like you said, it's going to be match point here for the side of Philly Fighters. We're going to have to see the side of DC Minutemen switch something up a little bit here. And they got to get some rounds on the board. It looks like loading back in here, we are going to see that Gother, who is 8-3 on the map right now, is also on a 5 streak, and so is Merc. I mean, you got to think if both of them or even one of them can get streaks here. I mean, in theory, if they get it, the round is probably over anyway, but if they can get it, it's going to be a lot easier to get that last round they need. But Sox with a nice insta-pick right there in the bottom church area on Crash. That's going to be in favor of DC Minutemen there as they look to try to get this bomb down potentially here in a little bit. But Dak going to get taken down top fire. Gother on a slight flank there in you. He is going to get spotted. Mott going to get a nice kill in the back church area. Is Merc now on this 6 streak. Only needs one more kill to get something going. Streak-wise here. Going to pick that up. Has both their streaks. Oh my gosh. Picks up the next kill as well. Now Merc in a 1v1. That bomb is down though. He's going to have to try to get that kill and the defuse.
Absolutely. He is kind of hitting a longer route. I think he honestly might be playing for the streak and keeping a streak for the next round because they are on offense and if they can get that plant. But as I say that, he is kind of getting this kill onto Trilogy and does get it, but unfortunately does not have enough time to defuse this bomb. Does get out with his life, but he does have that glide.
I was like, I don't know. That was funny, but he is going to be on a 9 streak right now, and he has both of his streaks. You got to think, I mean, that's a big round on the side of DC Minutemen, but I mean, winning a round when it's basically going to be virtually impossible to push A side.
Yeah, definitely. And with Philly Fighters on the offense, all they have to do is get that bomb down and they can work around this glide. I think having that on an offensive push is extremely, extremely important.
Yeah, and I think we're definitely going to see it get used here probably fairly early on. Maybe they opt to just save it as long as possible. Nope, he's going to use it right away. He's going to be calling this in. He's going to be calling out the player on that B side and the player on the A side. The couple players in back church. This bomb should be going down here. Actually, it looks like it already did go down. That is my bad. It's Sox with a nice kill in the middle of the map there. Mott going to pick up a kill on Merc as well. Trilogy picks up a kill as well. Now it's going to be Gother in a 1v3 situation. And he's going to end up going down.
We're to round 11.
Yeah, DC Minutemen is going to bring it to round 11. But not only that, the glide bomb is gone.
Yeah, and with no glide bomb there, I'm curious to see who's going to be on offense. I forget if this game I believe it's kills in this game, if I'm correct.
It should be kills, because that's how control works. So your S&D would be exactly the same. Which, in that case, it should be in favor of Philly, right?
Yes. So Philly would be on the defensive side, yes.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, DC Minutemen, they play best on offense. So let's see what they can get going here. I'm definitely looking to see if they can get this mid-map control right away, like they've been doing insanely well this entire game so far. And right away, they're going to push very fast towards this middle of the map with their 2 good SMG players here. They're going to deal with 2 players in the middle. That's going to be Gother and Boozies. Gother going to pick up a nice kill on that mid truck. We're getting kills back and forth here as DC Minutemen only has 1 player left with Crash picking up 2 players already. Dak by himself. Oh, and he's going to end up going down. And Philly Fighters is going to take the map 2 in the round 11 to go up 2-0 in the series.
That was a little scary. I saw all 4 players on each side going towards that mid area, and I just knew it was going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, it definitely felt like both teams wanted to get to the middle of the map as fast as possible.
Just like that, we're going to Gavitu control. How do you feel about? I think that could be the bread and butter for one of these teams here.
Yeah, and I mean another big thing is like your subs like sneaking into your spawn. That's never fun when you get a sub sneaking in your spawn, picking up a nice 2-3 kills. We're gonna see a nice sneaky angle here out of Crash, as he doesn't really see anything towards Ring, but Trilogy gonna pick the first kill. Sox picking up a kill as well towards that A side, and Dak also getting a kill. We're gonna see 3 ARs out of the side of DC Minutemen to start it off here, and Philly Fighters gonna have to fight their way out of their spawn now.
Absolutely. I do believe Philly may have 3 ARs out. I know Gother is actually running the Volk that we were talking about. That kind of hidden gem gun over there. But with Philly Fighters kind of pushing up this P1 side, kind of scrapping that A point to kind of see if they can get this B point and get a little bit map control.
That whole time they were kind of fighting to get out of their spawn, Crash was alive the entire time over here on B site. Getting that first tick. Oh, almost gets the first tick in before getting taken down. But that's going to distract the DC Minutemen to that B side. That's an objective you can't afford to lose early because A is so much easier to take for an offensive side. But I'm just curious to see how this rotation goes down for them as they rotate back to help A side. And it goes down really well for the most part, but Philly Fighters still trying to push onto this B side and get some time on that.
Absolutely. And with Gother falling on that B point, I wonder if Philly does elect to just try to grab this A point. It is the closer one, and with 27 seconds, and like I said, time ticks down when you're in a rush. I believe they would elect to go to A.
Minutemen is going to have a player on that flank. That's going to be Mott, who's going to be right in the middle of the map towards that Philly fighter spawn. He's going to end up picking up one, maybe two there. I think he only got one. But his teammate's going to clean up some kills as well. And, I mean, for the most part, Philly Fighters isn't going to have enough time to push out of their spawn here. And I'm going to be honest, I don't think that, yeah, they're not even going to try. They don't want to give up the lives. They don't want to risk losing that last defense.
Absolutely, and I did just kind of see, I believe Dak is on a 4 streak currently.
Oof.
And playing his life there excellently. I know he did just get the kill with the pistol. If he can get that glide bomb, Gavitu, there's nowhere to go. Nowhere to hide from the glides other than barracks.
Hey, I mean, you could always just take it and just eat it. Just let it get you. You tell your teammates to run, you're like, I got this one, guys.
As I say it, Dak is actually starting this map 7-1. Holding down with his AR, honestly. We were just talking, Dak and his AR, they're an amazing duo.
Dak is an absolute weapon with this thing. And, okay, Merc, we're going to see get that nice cross map shot. But Dak going to end up going down to Gother, who picks up a nice 2-piece. But Sox immediately trades that one out and gets to the hill here of that A side right there. But Sox going to be getting pushed in here. But there should be some DC Minutemen pushing up real quick to help out.
Absolutely. And they are quite even on lives. I do believe if DC can get this 8 point with a reasonable amount of time left on the map, or on the round, I'm sorry, they could have a good opportunity to hit this B point. But as I say, that Philly is holding down this boat area and kind of cutting them off from Cliffside to kind of block.
Yeah, we're going to see Crash pushing towards top ring right now to just get some mid-map pressure going here. They're going to have a couple players in front right here. That's going to be Trilogy getting taken down, but there's going to be 3 players of DC Minutemen pushing towards A right now. Make that 4 because one just came off spawn. Dak getting a nice kill on the hill there, but Crash going to be really annoying on that mid-map cross while they try to leave their spawns here. But Moat going to pick up a nice kill there. Does end up taking down a teammate as well, sadly. But Crash being super annoying in that middle of the map in their spawn. DC Minutemen going to have to deal with that player on their spawn, and they're going to have to try to cap this hill. But Mott going to pick up 2 kills total in this hill. Ends up going down to Gother. And, I mean, already we're seeing that defensive control, but Crash almost gets the second kill out of the spawn there. But, I mean, that's a nice kill out of Dak. If he dies there, his team is probably screwed.
Absolutely. And while DC is taking A couple of their members are moving over. As I say that, though, one does fall. But they were kind of trying, I believe, to get, like, 2 points started at once to kind of stagger the hold from the Philly Fighters.
Yeah, it looks like they're just trying to split up Philly as much as they can here. But right now, they're doing an absolute phenomenal job when it comes to the kill-death side. And it looks like they're about to get this A site completely captured. They're only going to be... They're up 1 kill actually here on this offense, but they've got to go take the B site, which is almost impossible. As now they're actually down in kills by what, 2-3 now. And, I mean, they're going to have a tough time pushing out of their spawn here.
Absolutely. And with Philly Fighters pushing up that ring area, it's going to force the side of DC to spawn on boat. And if I'm being quite honest, that is not an ideal spawn. With someone holding from barracks and Gother holding down this mid-cut, it's going to be a very, very hard break for the side of DC Minutemen.
Yeah, DC Minutemen right now doing their best, probably just trying to, not probably, they are definitely trying to slow it down a little bit. They do have 30 seconds to deal with. They're getting some nice kills on the map right now, but Trilogy going to be this top boat gun. He's going to end up jumping off to help his teammates out, but Sox picking up a nice couple kills there. And I mean, so far DC Minutemen's going to have a really good opportunity to push this in. Dak gets a nice kill there with his AR once again. They do have 1 player on outer beach to deal with who's going to be coming top ring. That's going to be Merc. Merc's going to have a chance to mess everything up here for DC Minutemen. Yeah, Merc's going to pick up the nice double 2 kill. That's going to be all 4 down for the side of DC Minutemen, and that's going to be the end of the round because they can't push out of their base at this point.
Definitely. I thought Dak had seen him back beach, but he must have just missed him. This map in general, I believe the visibility like towards beach side is a little hard to see sometimes on the side of the beach.
Yeah, and that beach side, I tell you what, it's very easy to just kind of sneak through that because a lot of the gunfighting and like the way, like where everyone's kind of looking happens on that A side of the map. And we saw it a couple times in that round alone where Crash was able to sneak through beach side and spawn kill a couple people before getting taken down. And whenever you can get those 2-to-1 for lives or 3-to-1 for lives, it helps a ton. Looks like Philly's going to opt towards pushing this B side really, really aggressively. They're going to pick up the only player there to really that's able to deal with them. As DC is going to have to try to rotate back to deal with this. One player is going to push ring. That's going to be Sox. Picks up a really nasty kill there. Picks up a second as well before Gother gets that trade.
That was a massive 2 kills for Sox, but Gother just causing issues, honestly, on this tank side. Holding the mid cut and kind of cutting off any of the DC Minutemen trying to hit from mid.
Yeah, I mean, this side of Philly, I mean, they're doing a really good job so far. They got 2 ticks on that B side, and it looks like they're going to do the smart thing. They're going to rotate towards A side. But guess what? There's going to be 3 DC Minutemen players to deal with over there. And Dak is going to be that beach side trying to push around to get those spawns. But Mott somehow ends up getting a kill on Gother. And that's going to slow down this Philly side a little bit.
Definitely. And with now all of DC kind of converging onto this A point, going to be a battle. But as I say that, 3 of DC do fall. And they are now spawning back cliff area. And I think that's one of the hardest spawn traps in this game.
Yeah, Philly, I mean, they're trying to push their way out right now. They're down just a little bit in kills here. They do have some good progress on B site right now, but you got 24 seconds. You're pretty much even in lives for the most part, but you got to get on this hill and you got to cap something as fast as possible. Smoke picks up a nice 2-piece right there on that flank. He should be able to push into the backside of A here. Never mind, their teammate Trilogy gonna push in and get that kill, but Dak has to deal with Crash over here on this B side. All by himself, and Crash gonna be opting to try to go for a flank. He knows exactly where Dak's gonna be at because he didn't see him right away. There's gonna be 3 players from Philly Fighters over on that B side. If they can get a stack over there, they can get it really quick.
Zeus has to go though. With 1 second and 1.4 seconds left on the clock, they do get on, and if none of DC can get over there, we're gonna get an extra minute on this clock.
Yeah. Boozy's all by himself in this back lander right here. Gonna end up getting the kill. Does get taken down, and that's gonna be the time as Philly Fighters ends up losing the round right there, and DC Minutemen with a nice clutch up right there to go up 2-1 on the map.
Absolutely. Boozy's did play his life excellently, hitting that point. Fortunately, though, he did get shot in the back, and just like that, we are at a potential match point.
Yeah, I mean, whew. I mean, DC Minutemen, they've looked very strong on defense and offense here. I think if one of these 2 teams is going to get this done, I think DC is going to be the team to do it.
Agree. And with Crash pushing up this P1 area, he is going to be met with more. And I wonder if... Oh, and just like that, as I say that, Gother is hitting over there with I believe Crash was up there with him.
Ooh, that's a nice gunfight win out of Mott right there. Is Mott going to be controlling that top ring area, but DC opted to push this boat really, really aggressively. Mott, he's going to take this opportunity to push B as all of his teammates get wiped out, and look at Philly Fighters just run into the spawn of DC Minutemen. They're looking to get the second wave of kills as well, and Merc's going to pick up 1. He's going to pick up 2. He picked up 3 people there in the last, 10 seconds or so. That's going to be really, really dangerous for DC going into the future here.
Absolutely, and he is 1 off of that glide bomb, and like I said, Gavitu, there's nowhere to run. There's nowhere to hide from that glide bomb. You just got to kind of take it or hide in the ring.
And I do want to point out, Philly Fighters will have to win this round by over 11 kills. They'll have to get a 12-kill advantage in this round to take the defense for the last round.
Just like that, the glide bomb's in, and it does take out Mott. And just like that, DC Minutemen are kind of staggered a little bit as they do all fall and are all stuck in that spawn trap back cliff currently.
Yeah, as long as Philly can keep up this pace they're on right now and get pretty even trades and keep picking up these spawn kills, they should be able to get to that last defensive round as the victor and have a chance to close this out before DC gets that opportunity. But DC still has a really big opportunity here to potentially get a couple kills on the board and prevent Philly from getting anywhere near that defense.
Absolutely, and the 2 massive kills from Mott, to be honest. He took out Boozy's off that 4th streak, which could have been another potential glide bomb, which could really cause some serious damage.
Yeah, it looks like Dak over there going crazy on the other side of the map, but he's going to end up going down to Merc. Socks over here on B site all by himself. Oh, ends up going down. Almost gets the B site secure. But DC gonna be trying to get this capture right now. We've got one player in the front of the hill to deal with. That's gonna be Boozies, who ends up getting the kill. And DC trying to get this A site down, but they only have 5 lives, and Philly Fighters has 14.
Boozies does die, I believe, by a barrel. Those things are the biggest boogeymen on these maps, to be quite honest with you. And just like that, with Philly Fighters kind of set up in this P1 area, even though DC did get that A point, they're now going to have to kind of play their lives and push through. It's 11v4, but they do only need 1 tick.
I do believe these kills that just happened on the map for the side of DC Minutemen, no matter what, gives them the oh my gosh, why am I even saying this? DC Minutemen is absolutely wiping the floor with DC Minutemen right now. They're about to get the B cap, and they're going to win an offense, and they're going to win the control 3-1. I'm over here talking about the kill advantage to take the last defensive round, but DC Minutemen said we only need 5 lives to capture both objectives.
And at the end where they captured that A point, the life count was 14-4, and they just converged. They got the kills, that most important kills, and then stacked that B point.
This is one of those maps where I think it's going to be just an absolute bloodbath. We are going to be kicking off with the side of Philly Fighters here. Boozies, a great POV to kick it off here is going to be a guy with a submachine gun. And it looks like both teams, actually, DC Minutemen opting for this like P2 side push. Boozie's going to pick up a kill on Socks here. Has one more player that bottom side Zig, but Minutemen going to end up taking the advantages. They take down 3 players from Philly Fighters. They will get the initial time on this hill. Obviously, it won't be much before Philly Fighters is able to get a little bit of a counter to it, but I mean, it's already back and forth kills.
Absolutely, and as we were talking about with the ARs, I'm curious, I don't know if it's 2 ARs on the side of Philly, unless Merc might have just picked one up. But I do definitely know Dak is running one and Crash is running one as well, so they do have those 2 ARs that I believe are honestly going to battle it out against one another.
Yeah, and we can already see, like you were talking about earlier, the battle for P2 is definitely raging on right now as DC Minutemen going to hold that down. They're going to have a couple people in the middle of the map here to deal with. Wow, the kill feed is basically just DC Minutemen there for a second, but Philly Fighters doing a good job getting some kills on the board here too and pushing up. They got to deal with Trilogy in this bottom bar and Zig area. He's going to call out that player pushing the bottom. He's going to end up going down, and Philly Fighters does an absolute phenomenal job pushing the spawn all the way in, and DC Minutemen going to spawn towards River.
Yeah, and with the spawning towards River, they are going to kind of have to break through this barn area, but with Gother sitting in barn, and I believe number 8 in Boozies was also kind of headed over there. But DC does break through with Socks, and I believe it is Trilogy pushing through as well. Yeah, and he gets the kill.
Yeah, Boozie's going to be close by, going to pick that up. And Philly Fighters already out to a nice little lead here in this game as we're going to get ready to rotate to that P3 in the bottom Grandma's Hill here. DC Minutemen going to be set up for this one early here, and they're going to be getting the kills over there, but I'm sure Philly Fighters is going to have a nice answer towards this hill.
Absolutely, and Dak's positioning is outstanding right over here. He does fall, but he does get the information for his team that 2 people are hitting through that field side, but with DC spawning in the back, some teams think it's an ideal spawn to be spawning back there, some do not. Some do think it is more of a spawn trap area.
Yeah, Socks right now is just finessing the map, does end up going down there. Crash pushing like the front of the hill with an AR, picks up a nice 2-piece. And Philly Fighters kills everyone on the side of DC Minutemen, and right now they're just getting those free spawn trap kills that you were literally just talking about.
Yeah, Crash's positioning on the map right now, he does fall, but being on that gate, watching that back spawn, and having your team in this hill does force them to spawn that back garden area, which for an AR is honestly like Christmas.
That's exactly what you want as an AR, but right now you're going to see Philly Fighters with a nice lead, getting ready to rotate to that P4 in barn.
So Dak does get the kill onto Boozies and could potentially be able to flip those spawns, but Merc may have something to say about it. As I do say that though, does get shot in the back, but Boozies does kill Dak. It allows them push into this hill.
Yeah, Boozie's going to be just kind of wreaking havoc in this back spawn area. You're going to have a player jump on him. That's going to be Mott. Going to pick up a nice kill there. Mott on a 5 streak right now. I don't know how I haven't noticed this. He's going to be trying to finesse a little bit, maybe try to get a glide bomb. He's going to have a couple players in front of him here. He's going to pick up one. He's going to, almost gets the second before getting taken down. he did end up on a 6 streak there before going down. And I mean, DC Minutemen does an absolute phenomenal job getting themselves back in this game, getting it as close to even as they possibly can here. But I mean, we're seeing Merc with this Volk right here. That was a gun you were talking about before this game even started, about how it could be a difference maker on the Gavutu. But I mean, the more you think about it, I mean, it's a great gun for this map. You can stay aggressive with it while still holding those long angles.
Absolutely. The Volk honestly reminds me of the Maddox from Black Ops 4 with the perfect flex gun that isn't GA'd, and it shoots fast enough with giving you the mobility, and I think that's going to be also a massive thing for the side of Philly Fighters, having that secondary player being able to hit those range fights and also around the map with great speed.
Yeah, we're going to see Boozy's here on a 5 streak because he's 15 and 10 right now on the map. And he's going to be playing bottom grandmas right now. As his team has got control of that hill. He's going to pick up that 6. Is he going to be able to get the 7th for the glide bomb? Wow, he's just running through grandma here. He gets a nice kill on Mott. He's going to get that 7th kill for the glide bomb. And he's just waiting around to see what his teammates get done here, because they're getting a lot of free time here as DC Minutemen opting to play for that P1, P2 rotation that will be happening soon. And Trilogy actually on this flank here of this P5 hill.
So Trilogy does slip through and does get the remaining scrap time, but what this also does for the side of the DC Minutemen, it is going to give them a little bit more map control and kind of force Philly to have to find those players. And just like that, Gothard does fall looking for the player who was River, and it's going to kind of make DC have to find them. But as I say that, they do find Ma over there and do get 3 down.
I mean, it just feels like Philly Fighters is controlling the pace of this game right now, just making sure that the kills go through them. Yeah, that DC Minutemen is getting kills on the board, but I mean, basically they're like, they don't really mean much because they're getting them in places where Philly Fighters is kind of controlling that pace. But Crash picks up a nasty 2-piece, almost gets the 3rd with some help from Merc there, but Merc gonna pick up a nice 2-piece in the hill as well. And I mean, Philly Fighters just, they're completely popping off right now. Everyone is just performing perfectly.
Absolutely. And with Mercury, with this Volk, like I said, this gun allows him to move so quickly around the map while also shooting at range. And it does hit, I honestly think personally, a lot harder than the MP40 up close. And just like that, he is on a 4 streak. 3 off that glide bomb. Like I said, with glide bomb in this game, it's scary. You could get any kills anywhere, through a building or in the open.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, if you're coming down to a clutch moment in a hard point or something like that, or you just want to close it out, it's definitely a nice little gift to make sure it ends pretty quickly. But we're gonna see Boozy's is 22 and 14 right now. That man is a menace. But so Merc is 23 and 11, Crash is 23 and 15, and these guys are still picking up kills on the map here as Mott pushing through this bottom barn, has to deal with Crash. I mean, sorry, that's Boozy's to deal with there, and gets taken down. And this is tough. DC Minutemen now spawning on that backside, like chicken coop area as they're getting taken down right off of spawn.
Yeah, Philly Fighters is just controlling the pace of this map so well. And also keeping map control. They're in the right spots that they want. And they're also spawning DC where they want. I honestly believe right here they're going to try to get DC to spawn in the back to get that spawn trap to kind of soak up the rest of this time. Because if Philly can hold this whole hill, they do win off of it.
Yeah, it looks like DC Minutemen pushing this back tower right now, back castle area. They're going to end up getting a couple kills in the back spawn. They're going to get the kills in the hill as well as they're pushing in. They're going to start getting some time here, but they're down but 120 points for now. It's going to be pretty rough to get something going here. And, I mean, they're doing a good job. I mean, if they can get a lot of this time, it's going to help them out a ton, but they really can't afford to let Philly get any of this time. As they're taking some good chows here, but Gothard pushes in, picks up a nice 2-piece before he gets taken down. Crash is going to push in, try to get some kills as well, but Dak and Mob making sure that doesn't go down for free. As Boozies and Crash, you still got to deal with them. Gothard pushing up to help out now as well. And DC Minutemen getting some time on the board. They've got the close spawn, but I mean, Philly Fighters are going to be, what, 230 points by the end of this?
Absolutely, and they do already have a rotation in place with number 8 in field kind of holding it down. And Merc just being a menace over here. Just being a bully. Forcing DC to really not get a lot of that scrap time that they were looking to grab. And it's just going to continue to force them back garden.
I mean, it really just goes back to what we've been saying. I mean, Philly Fighters is controlling the pace of this game. They're completely outslaying DC Minutemen and is making it almost impossible for DC to do anything. I mean, Philly Fighters needs 8 points to finish this game out. And I mean, if you're a DC Minutemen, you're going to need A whole heck of a lot more than that. You need 153 to win.
Yeah, and right now, they just aren't close enough, and just like that, Philly Fighters does take this map 250 to, I believe, 97, and just like that, the 3-0 from the Philly Fighters, or 3-1, I apologize, from the Philly Fighters.
Yeah, I mean, absolute phenomenal round out of Philly there. I mean, they had multiple people getting 30 kills and less than 20 deaths. I mean, I don't know how you're supposed to deal with that. I really don't if you're the side of DC.